What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we have to talk about this Gotham Knights being rated thing. Now, I left it as a question mark in the title, and that's simply because I'm very confused. Now, you could say, Alex, you're confused all the time. That's why I watch you. That's why I hate you. That's why I like you. You know, whatever version of that you want. But in all reality, look, people have been telling me for like a week and a half now that this game is being rated. And it is, and I will say this, it's odd because in some places it is rated. It's rated 18 and up. And then in other places, it's not rated at all. And the most alarming of that is, I guess at the time I'm recording this on Wednesday. You guys are seeing this on Friday. At the time I'm recording this, if you still go on their Twitter page, it still says rating pending. Now, honestly, I don't look at a lot of games' Twitter. I sometimes will follow, and I don't really follow all that many things on Twitter, on Podcast Now, 15, by the way, my Twitter handle. I don't really follow that much. On my actual user, I follow tons. I don't really look enough to tell if games, when they don't have a rating, do that. I have seen it before. I can definitely say that I've seen it before, but I just don't know how often I see games say, like, the rating isn't out yet, and they make that very clear kind of in the bio of the game. I just kind of feel like that's a little odd. I mean, that could just be me. You guys will have to let me know if you have any examples of that. But on their own Twitter, okay, on their own thing, they said that they don't have a rating. Now, again, if you go on, I believe it's PlayStation, one of the PlayStation channels somewhere across the world, when you watch actually, I think it's the normal PlayStation, a few days ago, or maybe it was like Sunday, Saturday, over this past weekend, a week ago, they had the Gotham Knights trailer, which was the same thing as what we saw at DC Fandom. It's just PlayStation did their version of it. And when the trailer opens up, it does say the rating. It says that it's rated 18. Now, there's a couple things to discuss there. Number one, is it actually rated? I don't know. I really don't know. There's nothing official about it, nothing on Warner Bros. Montreal. They haven't said anything. And on their own Twitter, it says that it's not rated. And yet some other, including trailers of the game itself, from very official things. Now, they make mistakes. That does happen. We saw a funny example was like PlayStation Access. I don't know if you guys watch them. I love them. They're like a UK PlayStation channel. They cover PlayStation, and they do weekly, they talk about the games that are releasing every week, and they in a video they said that the Crisis remaster was coming out that week, and they kind of jumped the gun. Now, it wasn't coming out that week. It came out 3 weeks after that, or like 2 weeks after that. So they actually took the video off and put it back up, and they removed that part from the video where they said that that game was releasing. So are there mistakes for big official channels? Yeah, there are, but I just feel like that's something really big. You know what I mean? That's something, I guess maybe not. I mean, obviously maybe announcing a game when it's not actually coming out that day, like that's something that's kind of big, whereas like a rating for a game isn't. But seeing as we're the weirdos, right, that they go into this all the time, and honestly, no, we're a fantastic community, but we're a group that does look at these things pretty seriously, and we always try to, I think, find details and things that maybe don't even aren't even specifically for that, right? So we do that. That's just kind of what this community is all about. And well, what does ratings mean? So people could be saying, well, Alex, what does it matter if there's a rating of the game or not? Well, ratings normally happen closer to the game's release than later. Okay, games normally get their rating closer to when they release than if they're super, super far away. You normally see this with like the I mean, that's what this is, by the way. ESRB ratings, right? Normally happens. Now, it varies, and I think I could have talked about this in a Batman, like a Gotham Knights video. I could have talked about this in just different videos. There's examples with like The Last of Us Part 2. There's examples with Ghost of Tsushima of, and those are pretty recent games, right? June and July, of getting their ratings. And that you normally don't give games ratings super, super far out, but you also don't do it like a few weeks before. The sweet spot is like 2 to 3 months. That's kind of in the realm. But again, it can go further. It can be, actually closer to the game's release. The interesting part with Gotham Knights is, they say 2021. And you guys can go back, right, to look at, for evidence of this. I've said February, March. That's kind of the area. I think January is a time, and I've said this before, January is okay for games. We've seen games release in January before, right? Hitman 3 actually is January 20th or the 21st, like one of those days. That's when Hitman 3 comes out this upcoming January. We've seen Kingdom Hearts release like the last week of January. Kingdom Hearts 3 did did that. We've seen a lot of different games, honestly, release in January, kind of all over the place. But January is a hit or miss. Some games release there, some games, I think Monster Hunter released there, right? Monster Hunter World released there a few years ago. So it depends on the game, but January doesn't have too many games that normally come out. So January is an option, but I've always said February, March. Well, if you have the rating for it right now, okay, and you could have said, okay, last week of August, I mean, you go, so end of September, end of October, end of November, end of December, that's already 4 months right there. If you come out very early January, you can say 4.5 months from when the rating was put on there to when the game releases. And I'm not saying this game is going to release January 1st, by the way. I'm just saying I think people are definitely running with this and saying, okay, it's got the rating, maybe it's coming out sooner than expected. I think there is a sweet spot there because I have seen people say like mid-2021 or summer 2021. It's like I never thought that was going to happen. I always thought it was going to be early. In fact, no, not even that, right? Because we all kind of thought, and I've said, how many times have I said this, right? We all knew that this game was probably supposed to come out in November. And then what happened? Well, the thing around the world happened, right? So they had to move it, right? So it was going to come out in November. Things have been delayed, some things substantially, some things not. In all reality, though, things probably, if you had to come up with an average, which is tough because every game, every developer, every location in the world is different. Some places got hit harder. Some places have, different law or different kind of like rules they followed when all this stuff happened. But maybe you say each game was affected by like 2 to 3 months. Maybe you could say something like that. So if it was going to come out in November, move it 2 to 3 months. And now you have January, February. So I really do think that's kind of the area. Or if you say October and you move it 2 to 3 months, well, now you got December. You're not going to release it that close to Christmas, so you push it just a little bit further. There you go. You got January, February. So I don't think this game was ever going to come out mid-2021. So if you want to run with the rating thing, which again, the rating isn't even official, so I'd be careful with that. But if you want to run with the rating and say the game's coming out sooner than expected, I guess sooner than expected is pretty subjective, right? Because it depends on when you think the game is coming out. I think the game was always going to come out around that February, March period. And because of that, yeah, it does make sense that over the next month, 2 months, we get that official, they change their Twitter bio, right? And they say that, okay, here's the rating of the game, right? I think that makes a lot of sense because the game would only be, 3-ish months off from the time that they do that. So I think that's how this is going to work. They could have, and I do think, by the way, I think they jumped the gun with the rating. I feel like it probably will be that rating. I just think that maybe that was a mistake. Maybe they'll give the official rating later. And again, it's got to go through different boards. Like they get approved, basically. The ratings of these games get approved. And another reason, too, if you guys did, this is kind of, I feel like self-explanatory. Part of the reason why you get the rating and people make the link that the rating comes so close to the release is you have to give the rating board quite a big kind of, not like an excerpt. I think they have to play like 3, 4, 5 hours of the game. They need like an entire list of all of the main things in the game so they can decide what the rating of the game is going to be. So the game's got to be basically very close to being done because you can't have the game being half done, give them the rating, they give the rating, okay, and then you change the other half of the game, you make an E for everyone game, and then the second half you're like, no, we're going to make it M, right? And you know what I mean? Like that, something like that just wouldn't work like that. So the fact of the matter is, if you get a rating, that means the game is very, very close to being done. Doesn't mean it's a day away. Doesn't mean it's a month away. People that think, I don't know anybody who thinks it's coming out in 2020, considering they said 2021. But I really do think very, very early 2021 is the time for this game. That's exciting. That's another positive thing. See, I make positive videos on Gotham Knights. People think I don't, but I do all the time. So, guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think that the rating is real? Do you think maybe Sony messed up, or these other, trailers that have the rating on it? Do you think they messed up and they kind of just jumped the gun? Do you think this game is coming out early 2021 now, or maybe you thought it was later? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. And I'm going to be continuing my coverage tomorrow. We're going to have that Suicide Squad video. Remember, I make those once a week, and then Gotham Knights videos every 2 to 3 days. So you could probably expect another video either Sunday or Monday, okay? Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.